Moving from the triad, a three-note chord, to a chord constructed with four notes, the seventh chord is the next step. Starting on each degree of the C major scale, we use each note and add its third, fifth, and seventh degrees to construct the seventh chords for each degree of the scale as seen here. Starting on the C note, we have the C, E, G, and B notes. Starting on the second degree, D, we have D, F, A, and C. Starting on the third degree, E, we have E, G, B, and D. F being the fourth degree, F, A, C, and E. G being the fifth degree, G, B, D, F. A being the sixth degree, A, C, E, G. B being the seventh degree, B, D, F, A. There are four types of seventh chords in the major scale. The major seventh chord, constructed with the root major third, perfect fifth, and major seventh. The dominant seventh chord, constructed with the root major third, perfect fifth, minor seventh. The minor seventh chord, constructed with the root minor third, perfect fifth, minor seventh. And the minor seventh flat 5, also known as the half diminished seventh, has the root, the minor third, diminished fifth, and minor seventh. Now that we know the recipe for each of the seventh chords, let's see where they appear in the scale and their relationship to each other. The first seventh chord in the key of C has the notes C, E, G, B. Looking at the C major scale, we can find the intervals for these notes: C, root, E, major third, G, perfect fifth, and B, major seventh. These intervals give us the C major seventh chord. The next seventh chord in the key of C begins with a D note, and the notes for that chord would be D, F, A, and C. Looking at the D major scale, we can find the intervals of these notes: D, root, F, minor third, A, perfect fifth, and C, minor seventh. These intervals give us the D minor seventh chord. Starting from the third degree of C, we find the notes E, G, B, and D. Looking at the E major scale, we can see these intervals construct the root, E, G, the minor third, B, the perfect fifth, and D, the minor seventh. These intervals give us the E minor seventh chord. Moving to the fourth degree of the C major scale, we see the notes F, A, C, and E. Looking at the F major scale, we find the intervals for these notes are F, the root, A, the major third, C, the perfect fifth, and E, the major seventh. These intervals give us the F major seventh chord. Starting from the fifth degree of C, we find the notes G, B, D, and F. Looking at the G major scale, we see the intervals for these notes are G, the root, B, the major third, D, the perfect fifth, and F, the minor seventh. These intervals give us the G dominant seventh chord. Starting on the sixth degree of C, we see the notes A, C, E, and G. Looking at the A major scale, we find the intervals for these notes are A, the root, C, the minor third, E, the perfect fifth, and G, the minor seventh. These intervals give us the A minor seventh chord. Starting from the seventh degree of C, we see the notes B, D, F, and A. Looking at the B major scale, we find the intervals of these notes are B for the root, D, the minor third, F, the diminished fifth, and A, the minor seventh. These intervals give us the B half diminished seventh chord, also known as the B minor 7 flat 5. Adding this to our scale chart, we see the scale in seventh chords for all the keys as seen here. A scale in triads mirrors the seventh chords with the exception of the 5 being a dominant seventh and the 7th being a half diminished seventh. Each chord in a scale has a name that references it without a letter. An example is the tonic chord. The tonic chord would be the first chord in any key. For example, If I ask you what is the tonic chord in C major, you would reply C major. What is the tonic chord in the key of B major? B major. Using the intervals of a chord, root, third, and fifth, the name for the third chord degree in a key is referred to as the median chord. In the key of C, C major is the tonic chord, E minor is the median chord. In the key of B, B major is the tonic chord, and D sharp minor is the median chord. In the key of G, G major is the tonic chord, and B minor is the median chord. The remaining interval of the chord is the fifth. The name for the fifth chord degree in a key is referred to as the dominant chord. In the key of C, C major is the tonic chord, E minor is the median chord, and G is the dominant chord. In the key of B, B major is the tonic chord, D sharp minor is the median chord, and F sharp is the dominant chord. In the key of G, G major is the tonic chord, B minor is the median chord, and D major is the dominant chord. The second chord degree in a key is referred to as the supertonic. It is one scale degree above the tonic. In the key of C major is the tonic chord, D minor is the supertonic chord, E minor is the median chord, and G major is the dominant chord. In the key of B, B major is the tonic chord, C sharp minor is the supertonic chord, D sharp minor is the median chord, and F sharp major is the dominant chord. In the key of G, G major is the tonic chord, A minor is the supertonic chord, B minor is the median chord, and D major is the dominant chord. The seventh chord degree in a key is referred to as the subtonic. It is one scale degree below the tonic. In the key of C major is the tonic chord, D minor is the supertonic chord, E minor is the median chord, G is the dominant chord, and B diminished is the subtonic chord, also known as the leading chord. In the key of B, B major is the tonic chord, C sharp minor is the supertonic chord, D sharp minor is the median chord, F sharp is the dominant, and A sharp diminished is the subtonic or leading chord. In the key of G, G major is the tonic chord, A minor is the supertonic chord, B minor is the median chord, D is the dominant, and F sharp diminished is the subtonic or leading chord. The fourth chord degree in a key is referred to as the subdominant. We arrive at the subdominant by moving 5 degrees behind the C note. In the key of C major is the tonic chord, D minor is the supertonic chord, E minor is the median chord, F is the subdominant chord, G is the dominant chord, and B diminished is the subtonic. In the key of B major is the tonic chord, C sharp minor is the supertonic chord, D sharp minor is the median chord, E is the subdominant chord, F sharp is the dominant chord, and A sharp diminished is the subtonic chord or leading chord. In the key of G, G major is the tonic chord, A minor is the supertonic chord, B minor is the median chord, C is the subdominant chord, D is the dominant chord, and F sharp diminished is the subtonic chord. This leaves only the sixth chord degree. In a key, the sixth chord degree is referred to as the submedian. We arrive at the submedian by moving 3 degrees behind the C note. In the key of C major is the tonic chord, D minor is the supertonic chord, E minor is the median chord, F is the subdominant chord, G is the dominant chord, A is the submedian chord, and B diminished is the subtonic chord. These chord degree names apply to the triads as well as the seventh chords. The tonic chord in the key of C major could be C or C major seventh. The supertonic chord in the key of C could be D minor or D minor seventh. The median chord in the key of C could be E minor or E minor seventh. The subdominant chord in the key of C could be F or F major seventh. The dominant chord in the key of C could be G or G seventh. The submedian chord in the key of C could be A minor or A minor seventh. And the subtonic chord in the key of C could be B diminished or B half diminished seventh, also known as B minor 7 flat 5. This gives us an understanding of seventh chords. Now we have some clarity with the etymology behind the dominant seventh chord. It's very unique in its function, and now we understand how it received its name. G dominant seventh is the fifth seventh chord. It is the only chord in the key that is a dominant seventh.